Joining us now is Pennsylvania Congresswoman Madeleine Dean. She sits on the Foreign Affairs Committee. Congresswoman, it's good to have you there. Let's start with what we heard there from the Secretary of Defense, because we were talking about this earlier in the show. This new term that has kind of entered the lexicon, which is narco-terrorism, an attempt to kind of use the authorization from 2001, the authorization to go after terrorists around the world, but to specifically now apply that to narco-traffickers who, as was pointed out earlier, is not a capital offense in this country, but when you paint them with the same brush as terrorists, you somehow provide a legal justification for what the administration is doing. Do you buy that?
Well, no, and I think what you're pointing out is exactly that the legal basis of this is incredibly flawed. Trust me, and I think anybody who knows me knows that I care very much about drug trafficking. I care very much about the drugs that pour into this country every single day and poison us and take many of our family members, our children, or rack them with addiction. This is not a legal predicate. They are bombing vessels in open waters with boats that have outboard motors, like I'd see down in South Jersey, and claiming that A, it's terrorists, and B, we're at war. Neither of those things has been defined, and neither of those things has happened. So actually, what we're talking about is not at all what Hegseth is saying, and he knows it. You see him scampering, you see him tap dancing. He's very defensive. I thought he was unfit and should never have been confirmed. Of course, after Signalgate, I thought he should have resigned or have been fired. And of course, he needs to go.
Congresswoman, I think you were maybe gesturing to this a moment ago, but you and your son have spoken openly about his struggle, his experience with addiction. You even wrote a book together about it. And so when you hear Secretary Hegseth and other members of this administration say that what this is about, what these strikes, these killings have been all about, is protecting Americans like your son, do you buy it? Do you think that this is what's going to keep Americans safe?
Thank you for mentioning our story and our experience. And we're very fortunate, and everybody in America should be as fortunate as we. My son, Harry, our son, Harry, is 13 years in long-term recovery from opioid addiction, from the poison that has come into our country, now only more deadly as a result of fentanyl and other contaminants. I don't buy it. Here's a very simple paradox. Take a look at these strikes on vessels that they're so proud of, and then they won't show you the secondary strike. And it strikes on vessels not coming to the United States and probably, and I've gone into the skiff to take a look at what the evidence is, probably transporting cocaine, not the fentanyl products that we know are poisoning us in an even greater capacity. Cocaine's bad enough. But man, oh man, at the same time, during the same weeks, the president pardons the former ex-Honduran president who brought in tons and tons of cocaine to this country. Are you kidding me? You're serious about making sure drugs don't enter this country, and you pardon one of the greatest traffickers of all time?
Congresswoman, you sit on the Foreign Affairs Committee. You're not on Armed Services, so you didn't get to sit in on the briefing from Admiral Bradley, but you mentioned going into the skiff and looking at some of the intelligence that had been made available. Can you talk about how the administration is trying to make their case for this war, and what kind of support is there among Republicans who are starting to worry that this is reckless and that there should be congressional input when America goes to war?
Thanks for the question. You're right. I sit on Foreign Affairs. I also sit on Appropriations, so it's a very interesting intersection of the issues that we are talking about. Because of Foreign Affairs, I was able to go into the skiff and take a look at the documents that would be the basis of these strikes. This is a couple of weeks ago, before this thought of the secondary strike and the possibility of a war crime. Again, a war crime is leaping because we're not at war. But certainly the rules of engagement are such that that looks like it was a very flawed secondary strike, something we'll have to look at. In the skiff, you know how it is. I can't tell you what was there. I can tell you what I was looking for. I was hoping to see justification for strikes of these boats. What's the evidence? Again, they needed to come to Congress if you thought this was a moment of war, but they didn't. They haven't. And what I can say is there was nothing in there specific. There was no specific evidence as to these vehicles, these vessels, and the people on them and that which they were carrying. It looks like, very sad to me, I hope you'll all understand this, very sad to me is Mr. Hegseth looks like he's excited by a video game world and striking of not innocent, the striking of people we don't know their culpability in any way, and the very worrisome possibility of striking of survivors. I want to tell you, you saw the reaction of Representative Himes, my colleague in the House, and Senator Cotton coming out having seen the secondary strike video. Number one, show us the video. Show America the video. You were so proud to show us the first one in September. Show us the secondary strike. The president has called for it, so I call upon the president, make sure Mr. Hegseth does. But imagine that you had Representative Himes, who I have great respect for, saying he was appalled by what he saw. It was jarring what he saw. And then Mr. Cotton, Senator Cotton, saying something that defied credulity, that they were really trying to reconstitute, flip the boat over, and move on. Are you kidding me?
Congresswoman Dean, thank you so much for sharing how you're pushing for accountability, which we need transparency. So thank you.
Thank you all.
And coming up, we'll talk about the affordability